Wondered what it's like flying Iberia's long-haul business class? This Iberia flight might just be the most authentically Spanish business class experience you'll ever get in the skies. I thought flying Iberia Business Class would be just another airline review, but when 7 crew members, including ones from economy, personally came to chat with me during the flight, I knew something special was happening. Not only do they serve Johnny Walker Blue Label in business class, yes, Blue Label, but they have these absolutely stunning Spanish touches, such as salt and pepper shakers shaped like figures from one of Spain's most famous paintings. Even if you've already taken an Iberia flight before, you'll definitely want to see what I have in store for you. Before I introduce and get you to the flight and crew, let me show you Qatar's Al Murjan Business Lounge, which honestly might be one of the most impressive airport lounges I've ever experienced. This place is absolutely massive. We're talking multiple levels, and the food selection is just incredible. I'm talking fresh sushi, Pierre Chavon, Le Petit Étoilé, sparkling Chardonnay, yes, proper champagne, and a spread that rivals most 5-star restaurants. The space itself is so vast you could honestly get lost in here. And with only an hour and 50 minutes between my connecting flights, I needed to make every minute count. Now here's a little viewer challenge for you. I'm about to show you some sped up footage of me getting from the lounge bathroom all the way to the gate. I want you to guess in the comments how long this actually took me in real time. The answer might surprise you, and it'll give you a realistic idea of how much time you actually need between connections at Doha Airport. The lounge honestly makes you not want to leave, but eventually it's time to head to the gate for what would become one of the most authentically Spanish flight experiences I've ever had. And here we are at the gate, and I have to admit, boarding wasn't quite as smooth as I'd hoped. There's no priority business class bus. We're all mixed in together, which feels a bit odd after that premium lounge experience. But here's where things got interesting. Do you want special treatment on your next flight? Here's a travel hack. Always bring small gifts for the cabin crew, and you'll get preferential treatment. It's not about bribery, it's about appreciating what they do for you. This time, I brought these beautiful telephone wire bowls made by local artisans in South Africa. It could be something as simple as chocolates or something local from your destination, but these simple gestures create an instant connection with the crew. You'll often get better service, wonderful conversations, and sometimes even seat upgrades. Besides that, I have an Iberia baggage tag on my backpack, and the crew's reaction to it was instant. Suddenly I'm family, not just another passenger. Now, I need to be completely honest with you about the seat. Coming from Qatar's Q Suite, this Iberia business class seat in 2L feels noticeably smaller. It's still lie flat, don't get me wrong, but the space around you is more compact. The seat configuration is functional, but it doesn't have that wow factor you might expect. But then the champagne arrives, and this is where Iberia starts showing its Spanish character. Everything about this service screams Spain, from the crew's warmth to the way they present everything. And speaking of Spanish character, let me tell you about the food and wine selection, because this is where Iberia absolutely shines. I started with the beef bresaola and the pan-seared prawns, and these prawns were incredibly succulent. I mean, genuinely restaurant quality at 40,000 feet. But here's what really impressed me, the wine. I had the 2015 Lar de Paula, a Spanish red that was absolutely exceptional. Here's something I learned for real on this flight, even though I've heard it many times before. Wine can actually improve for 10 years or more in the bottle, and this was proof. So many wines today are made to drink immediately, but this was a masterclass in aging. The attention to detail in the Spanish theming is remarkable. Even the salt and pepper shakers are shaped like figures from Velázquez's famous Las Meninas painting. How cool is that? It's these little touches that show Iberia really cares about representing Spanish culture. And then there's the coffee, proper Spanish cortado that actually tastes like it should. Too many airlines serve terrible coffee, but this was genuinely good. Now let's talk about the practical stuff. The seat does go fully flat, and while it's smaller than some competitors, it's perfectly adequate for sleep. The blanket and pillow are quality, and I managed several hours of solid rest. There's one quirky thing though, the tray table. It has this strange folding mechanism that seems unnecessarily complex for business class. Minor complaint though, but it's one of those design choices that makes you wonder what they were thinking, although I bet it's due to the reduced space. The bathroom is standard business class, clean, spacious enough, nothing fancy but perfectly functional. One thing I appreciated was the express service menu available throughout the flight. I didn't use it because I desperately needed sleep, but it's nice to know you can get food or drinks whenever you want without waiting for scheduled service. Now, this is where this flight became truly special, and I promise this isn't just because of my connections. Throughout the flight, crew members kept on coming by, not just from business class, but from economy too, to thank me for the small gifts I'd given them during boarding. I counted at least 7 different crew members who made a point of coming to say thanks personally. And here's the thing. This kind of warmth and genuine appreciation is so rare in aviation these days. It reminded me why I fell in love with travel in the first place. The crew also told me something that blew my mind. IBERIA Business Class stocks Johnny Walker Blue Label. Blue Label! Most airlines stock decent whiskey, but Blue Label is seriously premium stuff that you'd expect to pay top dollar for in any bar or only find in first class. The breakfast was another highlight. A proper Spanish omelette that was actually well executed at altitude, which is harder than you might think. Paired with another excellent cortado, it was the perfect way to wake up. Looking out of the window as we approached Madrid, I felt that familiar excitement of arriving somewhere new, even though this was technically just a connection flight for me. The landing was smooth, and Madrid Terminal 4 at Madrid Barajas Airport is honestly one of the more impressive airport terminals in Europe. Spacious, well-designed, and efficient. So here's my honest verdict on IBERIA Business Class. It's not the most spacious, it's not the most luxurious, but it delivers excellent food and drink, as well as something that's becoming increasingly rare in aviation: genuine cultural authenticity and warmth. In this case, from Spain. If you're looking for the biggest seat or the fanciest amenities, there are other options. But if you want a business class experience that actually connects you to Spain, the food, the wine, the service style, the attention to detail, then IBERIA delivers. The crew's warmth wasn't just because of my gifts and connection. It's clearly part of their culture. The food and wine selection is genuinely Spanish and high quality. And those little touches, like the Las Meninas salt and pepper shakers, show a level of care that many airlines have lost. Would I fly IBERIA Business Class again? Absolutely yes. It might not be the flashiest option, but sometimes authenticity and genuine service matter more than having the biggest seat. And let me emphasize this again. The food and drink were absolutely exceptional. That aged Spanish red wine, those restaurant quality prawns, the perfectly executed Spanish omelette, and that proper cortado. This is airline dining done right. What do you think? Have you flown IBERIA Business Class before? Let me know in the comments. Oh, and don't forget to guess how long that lounge to gate walk took me. Like and subscribe if this helped you decide whether IBERIA Business Class is right for your next trip to Spain. All my reviews are completely self-funded and honest. See you next time in the skies.